Hello everyone, and welcome to the Tailored Acres YouTube channel. I am Taylor and I garden in Wisconsin Zone 4B. Today I am going to be tackling my peach tree pruning, and I got this guy last year. You can see Hank in the background there. He's my gardening buddy. This peach tree I planted last year as a bare root. I got it in the spring and planted it right away as soon as the soil was workable in about April, I believe. And I'll see if I can find a picture and put it up on the screen of how I pruned this when I first got it. I am keeping this to more of the style of the open center with the 4 scaffolds. So I'll see if I can point out here how I pruned this last year. So this is the open center. So this was the leader here that came up. So I clipped it right off, and I have one, let's see if I can get in the middle here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 main branches here. And this grew, I mean, this was probably like maybe 4 feet tall, 3 feet tall, and it's like 10 feet tall now. I want to be very straightforward in that this is my first year truly pruning my peach tree. I'll say that 5 times fast. I have done a ton of research. I've watched a ton of different videos, and this is my plan moving forward on how I am going to prune my tree every year. So I just want this to serve as inspiration, another example, and maybe a northern gardening example for you to follow. I also want this video to serve as a reminder that you do need to prune your fruit trees for the best production and health of the plant. So if you want bigger and better fruit, this is a necessary step. My peach tree is a contender peach tree, and it was from Jung's as a bare root last year. I chose that variety as it was the only one that I found that is hardy down to zone 4. Peach trees are vigorous growers, so that is why pruning is so important on these trees. We are going to be pruning with the goals in mind of controlling the size and height of these, keeping the tree open that promotes both airflow and the light to get in, reduce the crop load of peaches because peach trees produce way more peaches than they can support, and that will help you get bigger fruit as well. And that fruit should probably be about 6 inches between each fruit that it produces to be a healthy plant and produce the correct size fruit. It's extremely important to keep in mind that peach trees bloom on the second year wood, which will be red in color on these trees. So our first step is to take out anything that is dead, diseased, or damaged, and I'm not seeing any on my tree. The second step is to take out anything that is shading or shaded. So this is going to promote light and air to get into the tree and promote health throughout the tree. This includes anything that is sticking into the center. So here are a few really good examples of this. We have this branch here that's growing into the center and straight up. That's not going to help our tree at all. We also have this one here, and there's a little one here. So I'm going to be cutting out all of those. I don't see too many downward branches, so I maybe like this one here. And because this is such a new tree, we're going to have very few cuts this year anyway. So I'm going to go in and cut these 3 here, and we're going to cut right to the wood. All right, and I'll look for some more here. Okay, so I'm continuing to look for ones that are either growing into the tree, like those there. Let's see up here. This one. Here. This one probably too. All right, so we have, I'll do this one too. The center there is all clear. Okay, so that is all the inner ones. Now I'm just gonna check for outer ones, and I like the direction of these that we're going here. I should take one of these here. Okay, so we are on to step 3 of the pruning for this tree. And these are going to be the biggest cuts that we make. So these are the main branch cuts. And we are looking to control the height of this tree. We are looking to keep our scaffolds at that 45-degree angle. And we are also going to be making these cuts so that there's an outward bud at the top, because that's where your tree will shoot out next. So these are the most important ones, so we're going to go through it nice and slow. Okay, because you can't put it back on once you cut it, right? So here is my main scaffold here. So this one is coming up. And we got lots of branching at the top here, so we really don't want that. And this is already like super tall. I don't know if you can see that in there. But this all grew last year. Again, like I said, it was probably like this tall. So it grows an insane amount every year. So because I'm a little bit newer at this part of it, I am going to keep a little bit more. So here I see a nice outward branch, so I'm going to take it right here because I don't really want it much taller than me for spraying and picking fruit and all of that. So I'm going to kind of do that same process to all of these main ones. So out of the scaffold, we have all of these really nice bigger branches here. So I am going to take this one and get that caught in my hair as I get everything caught in my hair. I'm going to take this one right here. Step 4 of pruning your tree is going to be for fruit control. So these cuts are going to be on this redwood portion of the tree, which is most of my tree at this point. So what we're going to look for is pencil size or larger branches to keep. These are going to be the ones that are able to bear fruit in a productive way without breaking or stealing a bunch of energy from the tree. So those we are going to cut back about 1/3, but we want them to be about 18 inches long maximum. Okay, so this step, first I'm going to go through and remove anything that is super small here. Some of these are really small, and I might leave them just to see how it works for me. And at this point in the winter here, this has budded out, and I can see where the buds are going to be, which is definitely something you need to wait for to do on yours. I'll bring you in closer here so I can show you what I mean. Let's get the light right here. So this is what we're looking at here. So these are all buds, and these will all either produce a leaf or a flower here, or both. So that's what I'm talking about the buds already. Okay, so now let's look for the real skinny ones here. These ones are probably too small to keep. This one here is really small. Right, this one is really small. Maybe I'll leave a couple on this one just to see how it does. Our next step here is to prune back either by 1/3 or to about that 18-inch range. But also because my tree is so young, I am taking into consideration what I want those branches to look like in the future. So kind of a grain of salt, and I'll try to kind of go through each cut. Hopefully you can see it good enough. So this one is a skinnier branch. So I'm just going to kind of cut it back by 1/3, which will be about where 18 inches is on this one. So I'm going to go for that outward facing bud. They're all kind of not pointing in the right direction here. All right, we'll go here. It's just a little longer, than I wanted, but oh man. Well, that's not ideal. Okay, so that one's there. So in this one, same thing, outward facing bud, about 1/3, which takes me to 18 inches. This one, I'm going to go about here, which is a little bit more, but that one is really skinny, so I don't want a bunch of fruit on the end of it to break it off. And as you can see too, like where I cut last year, so like I cut this one here last year, and it thickens it up so much. So that is another advantage of pruning, is that you're going to end up with thicker branches, which is ideal here. All right, this one. Let's go here. Okay, this one is a really nice branch coming off of this one, so we want to save this one for the future, most likely as well here. So I'm going to take this one right here. All right, this one, go out here. Let's take this one to here because this is a nice branch coming off to kind of fill this space between those two there. So, all right, I think I got them all. So every single branch on this has been cut out in some way. And you can see how much we took off. It's quite a bit. And usually you are going to want to prune your tree about 40%, which seems insane. But if you have a peach tree, you know how fast that they grow. And they need that help with, there's a tiny little branch right there, to give you good fruit. So here is a close-up on everything that we did today and what it looks like in the end. If I do this here, you can see we're maintaining that open center. Go in here. All right, we controlled the height, which this one I'm still debating. I might do down a little bit. You can see this one I decided to take down a little bit farther, but I got some time to decide on that one too. So we did a really good job thinning the fruit. So hopefully we'll get some nice sized peaches this year. And you can see that I also need to keep this fenced in because of our deer here. I'm not sure if I'll have to do that in the future as well, but for now, it doesn't look real cute, but I want some peaches. All right, everyone, I hope that you have good luck pruning your peach trees this year and that you have a big, juicy peach harvest this summer. Take care.